It's time for
DodgerHeads.
high fly ball into right field. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeman hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads Unplugged with Scotty G. It's great to have you in here. Happy Thursday, Victory Thursday. This is what we're doing here. We've got a terrific show lined up for us today. Good morning to everybody. If you're in the middle of your workday, that stinks. I am too. I hope you get to hang out for a while. Tune in, pull up a chair, earbuds in, whatever you're doing. If you're working out, I appreciate you joining in. To the tier ones in here early on. You're the best. You're all beasts. It's great to have you in. The Dodgers do exactly what we expected, what we have to expect, what they have to expect, and go ahead and take care of business against Colorado Rockies. 82-64. The Dodgers are feeling good with where they're at right now, and you should as well, because this is what we've been waiting for. The starting pitching continued to do their thing. We've got a couple great topics to cover. We're going to get into a little bit of Will Smith. We're going to start that Benny Rortvedt propaganda, because we have to. We have to do it. It's a conversation now, people. We're going to put you on this stuff. I'm going to put you on these things early on. So when you talk to your friends, your grandparents, your kids, you know the inside scoop. All right. You know the things that people are gatekeeping online, things on where to look at. The stuff that you should be looking at, the subtle narratives and the stuff that, sometimes it's just narrative ball, but things that, definitely matter, and stuff with the pulse that make a franchise go, and stuff with teams that definitely make them click, right? Like there's a lot more stuff that goes into a car working than just the gas. There's all these little things. Okay. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some of these subtle things. And, I can pump some narratives with the best of them. Right. But there's a lot of truth in some of these things. And there's a lot of truth in stuff like Tommy Edman making his way back, and Benny Rortvedt coming in here and doing his thing. And, the pitching, getting in a rhythm and absolutely carrying a team. So that's what we're going to talk about. Do me a quick favor. Housekeeping duties out of the way. Let's get, those likes, get the subscribes up. If you're not subscribed, tap in. You're still one of the tier ones. You can make that list, make the cutoff. I haven't shut that application door yet. Thank you for tuning in here. On this Thursday. If you're listening after the fact on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts, you're the best. You're absolutely the best. We've got a good show here. We've got a good community. We're driving in, and we're getting everybody as many eyeballs and ears as we can on DodgerHeads Unplugged. The team at Dodger Blue 1958, they do a great job over on the writing side. We do our best, absolute best, to bring you as much video, audio, written work as we can. We're the most honest, independent Dodgers media you got. I'm gonna say it every time. I love the crew that we've got here. I'm glad to be back. It's good stuff here. But Dodgers take care of business. I'm gonna brief recap. Let me stop stuttering. It's a fun morning. Dodgers take care of business 9-0 against the Colorado Rockies. Yesterday, I emphasized how I would like them to make it a point to stick it to Kyle Freeland. And that's exactly what they did. That's absolutely exactly what the Los Angeles Dodgers did. If you don't know, Kyle Freeland, when he was at home against the San Francisco Giants, got absolutely laced by Rafael Devers. And Devers, everybody knows since his time in Boston that he pimps a homer and he watches that thing. I'm a big fan of if you crush one, you earn it, you can take the trot. Kyle Freeland didn't like that. They got in a little bit of a scuffle, and I don't know. I'm a ball fan. When pitchers get, made me think of Madison Bumgarner, take it to him. That's what the Dodgers did. Unfortunately, an error saved Kyle Freeland's ERA, so his ERA goes down even after giving up 4 runs there, allows 9 hits, over 5 2/3. Dodgers go out here, I'm not going to go over the entire offense. I'm just going to talk about the highlights. I'm just going to talk about the key performers there. Blake Snell shoves, Mookie Betts. You all were here first. 50 is a stalwart. He is what makes the team go. Mookie Betts is the guy. He's everything who we knew we knew he is, he can be. Goes 4 for 5, grand slam, double, 5 RBIs on the night. Mookie Betts, he's that guy. First ballot Hall of Famer. So I'm not going to say, oh, if you never jumped off the boat, if you jumped off the bandwagon, whatever. What I'm going to tell you is never doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer. Never doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer's ability and why they are that good in the first place to find their way back. Find their way back. Mookie Magic. Glooktober soon. Yeah. The Glookster is the man. Yeah. Never bets against Mookie, Marcus, Lynn, Betts. Mookie's having fun, man. He's having fun. Chad, I want you to do me a favor. If you've noticed the smiles that are in the dugout, you've noticed that with Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts, you've seen the vibes get real high. Hitting's contagious. And that's why you can shake the narratives. I had, a buddy who's a Rockies fan, told him to weep. He said it's just the Colorado Rockies. Doesn't matter. Good results breed results. Good vibes breed more good vibes. Good swings breed more good swings. Baseball is a game of momentum. Baseball is a game of repetition. And when you've seen them do it, that's how it goes. All right? You're only better than your last swing. All right? And that's what we've seen. And that's what we've seen from Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's good vibes. We're locked in today. Andy Pajes goes 3 for 4, double. Hey, hit absolute missile. Shohei Ohtani adds 1. Freddie Freeman's got to get himself right, but Andy Pajes hits a 109-mile-an-hour double. And Tommy Edman scores on that. Great to see him back. No surprise that Tommy Edman's inserted into the lineup. Dodgers put up 9. Who talked about that? We were talking about that first. Tommy Edman saving the franchise here. It's no secret. All right. Admin's going to get pissed that I went almost 9 minutes in on my show and didn't talk about the immediate news. Okay. Nothing breaking, but stuff we've got to get into. Will Smith's hand injury. All right. This is something that, sorry, Admin. Apologize. TQT, we're going to get into that. I'll talk about that in a sec. But Will Smith's hand injury is not the biggest deal, but it's a deal. Dave says, he says literally 15 minutes before the game and he's getting ready, his hand started to swell up and compromise a bit while he was getting loose. Decided to sit him down today, potentially hit available if he needs to be. All right. More quotes with that. Yeah. I mean, Dave Roberts spoke about Will Smith. But the main issue is him hitting. They have to be cautious with this. You cannot see him go further down in the season and have this hand lingering. So, Dave Roberts said he thought he was playing it last night. And you have to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen again. I'm not sure. He says, I don't want to say he's going to play Friday. We've got to be pretty confident he can catch 2 out of the 3 if he's going to play Friday. So with where Will Smith is at, the Dodgers are sending him for an MRI today. So I'm sure we will see more news about that. Yeah, Foxy says, I thought the x-rays were negative. Yes, but the Dodgers are going to send him for an MRI. Could be happening right now. Could have already happened, but I'm sure there will be some news. We might not hear about it, but if it's a thing, they might have to IL him. I'm not sure. You've got to protect him from himself here, and your starting catcher. You've got to protect him. A couple weeks left here till the postseason. You've got to make sure he's in prime position to, start an entire postseason series, which we would love. That's exactly where your thoughts at. You don't want your starting catcher having to take some days off because lingering injury. But yeah, Chris says this here. Doc said that Will's hand was something that would have to be managed the rest of the season. Why should we be surprised if he needs extra time off? I mean, we should be surprised because if he's having to take, time off and get scratched 15 minutes before a game because his hand is swelling up, that's not just extra time. That's having to be cautious if there's a further issue going on here. So that's not just because it's being cautious. It's being cautious, but there could be a larger issue at hand here. That's the biggest thing. So if you do have to, IL him, and that's the best thing for the team, best thing for himself, most importantly, then you do it. So if he's okay enough to stay on the roster there, Ben Rortvedt can take over. We've seen what the starting staff can do. Foxy, she asked, what's the diagnosis here? Will Smith is going to, he took that ball off the hand, and that's been a thing. So bone, some dealing with inner hand stuff, bone bruise, hopefully nothing's broken inside there. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. We'll know more with the MRI. I can't speak to it, but we'll know more. Team will let us know. Maybe they won't, but we'll know if he gets IL'd, and that'll be the biggest thing. The second part of this is what's happening with Ben Rortvedt. And Benny Rowe, the fan club is open. And with Benny Rowe, we've seen the starting staff do remarkable things already. And I know Will Smith was in there for Emmett Sheehan's game, and I totally get that. But Ben Rortvedt is making the most of his opportunities with the Dodgers right now. He's doing what needs to be done. He's taking care of business. So far this month, Ben Rortvedt's 4 for 13. Starting staff feels comfortable. They're being open about his ability to receive the ball, call a game. Tyler Glasnow was on foul territory, so credit to him, or credit to them for having Tyler on. Tyler Glasnow spoke about his fastball not being on par, not being on his game with that, and Rortvedt keeping him in the zone, working him through that outing. Credit him as being professional, credit him as coming in, acting like he's been there. So coming into a major league, a team with World Series aspirations, and Benny Rortvedt comes in and is able to digest, look at the game plan that the front office hands down and the game day planning guys, and he just executes. Goes out there, calls a good game, receives the ball well, earns praise from several pitchers on the staff, including Dave Roberts, who for the past few days I've been saying he comes in and is a servant of the pitching staff. And that's really stuck out to me. So I'm going to keep highlighting that. And it's great. I love to hear that from the manager. It's going to get into the conversation. I don't know if I'll have it right now, but it's going to get into the conversation where, the Dodgers acquired Rortvedt. And now, if they see him as such an asset, now follow this here, chat. If the Dodgers choose to carry Rortvedt on the team going forward, and they view Dalton Rushing as the better option for against right-handers off the bench, we're getting into a point where 3 catchers might not be the craziest thing. It really might not be the craziest thing. And who does that kind of bump away? I'll let you do that. I'll let you talk about that in the chat. I can definitely, guess who you guys think it is. Who does that maybe push out? If Tommy Edman's playing well in center field and can handle it, Pages in left, Teoscar in right, who's that kind of push out? Okay? You can do that math. You can look at the roster and do that. All right. Let's look through here. Let's see comments in the chat here. Yeah, Cook McCobb says, launch Conforto to thy son. Yeah. Nail on it. We'll see, though. Somebody brought it up. TQT had it. I'm going to put this thing here. He talked about Dave Roberts speaking directly to Michael Conforto getting the starts against righties with Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman back. What's Tommy Edman's role? How he'll split up time between second base and center field. Dave Roberts says, quote, I see him playing more this is Dave speaking to Tommy Edman, or about Tommy Edman. He says, I see Tommy Edman playing more versus left than right, but then I want to see him with my own eyes in games. He's going to be taking ground balls at second base as well, but I can't really say yet how much I'm going to play him at second base versus center field until I really see it. So I know that we can gather that Tommy Edman probably could have been back prior if he was playing exclusively second base, but his ankle is something that is going to still be lingering for sure. I hope he can play center field full time. I really do, because they need it. It solves a ton of issues out there. Dave also, went on to say he can't really answer it right now. Lends itself more to playing center field. Says today he liked Alex Call in there, but Tommy Edman's going to play outfield right now. I just don't know how long that's going to be. And Dave Roberts goes on to say about Michael Conforto's role, quote, I still see Michael playing versus right. So for the time being, even with Tommy Edman's numbers this year against right-handed pitching have been better, even though it's his weaker side against right-handed pitching, Dave's going to continue to put Michael Conforto out there versus right-handed pitching. For the time being, that's fine, because the top part of the order figuring itself out. Mookie Betts is on an absolute heater. Ohtani looking good. Freddie Freeman, when he's hitting it's slug, but he's having some dry spells. But when he's hitting it's for slug, which is cool. Teoscar look great. He's laying off sliders low and away, staying on time. Got it. Yeah. So, yeah. Eden says, yeah, I'm sure you're speaking to a kid. Michael Conforto says that does make sense. He has reverse splits. Yeah. Michael Conforto has much better numbers versus left-handed pitching than righties. So as long as he's on the roster, don't take this as an endorsement, because people always want to jump. Chat, don't do this. Listening after the fact, don't flame me in comments for this. It's not an endorsement of what Conforto's doing. It's like, if he's on the roster, he's not starting versus lefties. If they're going to use him in any spot, it's going to be against right-handed pitching. And that's what they're going to do until it's, push comes to shove, and then they have to make a decision to either leave him off a playoff roster, DFA him, however they want to do it. That's it. I'm simply bringing up the conversation that I've had in, multiple times in different groups in the last day about Rortvedt coming in and handling a staff with how they're performing, with how the game plan and execution is occurring on field. It's not something that's it's happening just because it's happening because the pitching's on a heater. Benny Rowe is doing a job. He's out here performing. He's a great receiver of the ball. Defensively, he looks good. He's up there competing. I like Dalton rushing against righties much more than Michael Conforto. And Will Smith's the starter. So I don't push away from 3 catchers on the roster if that extra guy is Dalton rushing to come off the bench, spells sometimes behind the plate, pinch hit. That's how I see it. Okay. That's definitely how I see it. Yeah. Rortvedt caught 2 near perfect games. That's how I see it. Al Potter, Snell has command problems, and Rortvedt can definitely help him. Look, it wouldn't be a thing if the starting staff weren't going out of their way and talking about it. It wouldn't be a thing if the starting staff in his outings wasn't going out there and having long outings, shutout stuff, no-hitter stuff. Eden says Rortvedt's a lefty, though. Yeah, but his credit to what his skill set is, we're talking about defensive stuff, game calling later in the game. If you want to sub it out, you get pop time with rushing behind the plate. I'm not worried about losing anything if they want to move some stuff. All right, you get plus stuff all the way. This is just if Will Smith, for whatever goes on, I don't mind it. I don't mind running 3 catchers. I really don't. I'm just talking about the conversation. God forbid anything's worse with Will Smith, but if they want to do it, I can see it. Just position versatility. And that's the only thing that'll save Michael Conforto. Has nothing to do with his bat. His bat has done nothing. Borrowed time, broken clock scenarios where if he lucks into one, cool, has nothing to do with performance. But this is purely that if Michael Conforto's job gets saved in this scenario, is just with the fact that he can stand in the outfield with a glove. That's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Cooking with Cop says this here. It says Snell doesn't have command problems per se, just how he pitches. Correct. That's how it goes. El Shiva, great to see you here. I want players competing. And that's how it goes. Jonathan says this here. Hi, Scott. Loving the show. Hearing that Glass now fastball command and overall health might be suffering from pH imbalance in the mound dirt. Oh, brother. Yeah. I mean, look, Tyler Glass now is, chasing that perfect feeling on the mound. So whatever he's doing, Whatever he's doing, he's feeling pretty good out there. So I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. TQT says Conforto is going to get a playoff start, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, I'm just putting the conversation out there. TQT says this. I'll put it up so everybody can see it for a sec. I don't see them getting rid of him. I'm just purely bringing up the conversation of what Rortvedt's doing is something that we absolutely have to take note of here. Absolutely have to take note of. And I would prefer them not to just throw it to the wind when Dalton Rushing makes his way back. All right. Purely talking about that. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the Dodgers lineup. And in the comment section, in the chat, I want you to let me know your confidence level with how the lineup was last night. So if you don't know about it, if you don't have it off the top of your noggin, that's fine. I'm going to go through it. And I want you to tell me, we're going to go 1 through 5. Don't give me the 10s. 1 through 5. 1 through 5 today. With Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, big Tommy Edman comes in. Miguel Rojas after that, Andy Paez, Kike Hernandez, Rortvedt. Imagine Will Smith is starting in there and you want to slot him in, but then you slide him up in the lineup. But that group, all right, feels terrific. Feels absolutely terrific. It feels like a league winner. It feels like a team. Let me change this. Whoops. There we go. It feels like a lineup that can go out there and do damage, frustrate hitters or frustrate pitchers, and go out there and get things done. I love the setup that they had last night. They had fight. They had compete. Kike Hernandez and Freddie Freeman are the only ones who lacked a hit. All right. And Muncy, yes, TVG. I'm saying versus, the lefties out there last night looked great. If you get Muncy in there, you get Will Smith in there, Muncy at third, Will Smith behind the plate, man. I said, this is the end of June. The end of June. It's the last time they had their entire unit. And what we saw is a Dodgers team that looked on time. They looked unified. They had an approach up and down the board. They all did a job. Absolutely all did a job. Exception of Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman, like I said, when he's hitting, it's for slug. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. As long as he looks, when he's lost, he's looking a little bit shaky. A little bit shaky. But when he's hitting the ball, it's for slug, and that's fine. All right. And I'm good with that. Jonathan says this, pretty high hopes here. He says, if the offense is there, Dodgers are winning a World Series with this rotation. Look, it's as good a rotation as we've seen heading into the post in a really long time. Really damn long time. The deepest. Definitely the deepest. This was the pinnacle. This is how the front office envisioned this rotation to be at this point of the year. You're going to pay sometime, with those lost games, high velocity guys, volatile arms, and you're going to hope that it lines up all at the perfect time. Well, to their credit, it's September 11th and you're at this point of the season and you have a starting rotation where you're sometimes at the beginning saying, I've got a plethora of arms. I got maybe too many, but to what Cobb says, vision is coming together. So this is it. This is definitely it right here. I pulled the numbers up from it. I'm going to save them for a minute. I'm going to put a pin in this here and come back to it. But with the offense where it's at, it feels like that Max Muncy has been chomping at the bit to get back out there. Tommy Edman, I think, once they clear him to be an everyday guy, I know Dave spoke to it. I think that's just to give Conforto his time against right-handed pitching. I think all things considered, Pages is an everyday guy. Tommy Edman, I think, is an everyday guy, but they're just going to monitor that ankle, not push him if they don't have to. Max Muncy, they'll load management him in, and Will Smith, they're gonna have to wait and see what that MRI says, and then they'll go with that. They'll go based off of that and just work him in. Okay. But Miguel Rojas coming in, doing a job. Another 2 hits last night. You know what you're going to get with the glove there. So this is the spot where the lower part of the order is finally doing a job, finally contributing. Rortvedt 2 hits last night as well. Credit to him competing. Sign says this. I'm getting fired up for Rortober. Yeah, Benny Rowe. So it's just about having competitive at bats up and down the lineup. When you get your main pieces in there, like I've said, we're big on this here in this show chat. You are too. It's your narrative now, not just mine. You adopted it. You're tuning in, so it's yours now. If we've seen them do it before, yeah, Dusty, I talked about Miggy Rowe. Credit to him. He's been great. If you've seen it do it before, like them do it before with the Dodgers, that's who you count on. I haven't seen a couple of these guys do it, and you know who I'm speaking to. I haven't seen them do it all year. Haven't seen them do it last year. They weren't with the team in the post. So that's what I'm banking on, and I've seen it. You look around, you've seen them success in big spots. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I love where they're at. This has been a roller coaster. So I'm definitely on notice with it. I think Kike Hernandez's opportunities need to be pulled back a smidge. I think he needs to get implemented in some pinch hit spots there to boost his things. There just aren't that many pinch hit spot for it. Yeah, I think that's kind of the way that we need to stray. Okay. So they'll find a way to, get him right. Hopefully he gets right. Hope's not a strategy though. But I think Dave Roberts will find a good spot for Kike, implement him in those big at bats, if those opportunities come up, when those opportunities come up. Okay. Because he's not looking right now. Not good for the narrative. But I believe in it. I believe October comes around, figure it out. Yeah. Nana says this Kike's at bats are so bad. Yeah. Not been pretty. Definitely not been pretty. Elashiva says Rojas is solid. Yeah. Making believers. Look, we're talking about the lower part of the order. The problem is that, speaking to a buddy this morning, the problem is that when the offense wasn't doing well, the top part of the order wasn't doing well. It was definitely at the bottom of the order that was magnified, because it's like, all right, when the top part's not doing the job, bottom part of the order's got to do something. They weren't doing anything. That's why those things get magnified. So, you've got to be able to at least contribute in some way. You've got to have some part of your game. That's the good thing, right? And when it wasn't, it wasn't. But now the top half is taking care of business and carrying the load. And now baseball's fun again. It's all working out. Mookie Betts is back to being the best offensive shortstop in ball. What do you got? Slap hitter, huh? Put him back to right field. Who genuinely thought that would just magically fix his offense? Who genuinely thought that? Are there actual people that believe that? Like actual people who believed it would just be like, all righty. He could read a fly ball from right field, so his bat's going to kick up. Like, were there genuinely people who thought that? I struggle to find how that's a legit thing. Yeah, I gotta know. Dusty says my house lit on fire last night when he hit that granny. Yeah, let me tell you, I was choo-choo training. I was running around, pumping my arms in the air. It was crazy. Screaming, everybody weeps. It's the best. Doubters and shambles. Signs, you were one of those? That's all good, man. But that's just like, it doesn't work like that. We're deep into the year. We're in September. I was just going to be like, all right, workload's lessened. Still going to have to run around. Dude prepares. So, yeah. I mean, people like, nobody said that. Yeah, people did say that, Chris. He says, yeah, nobody said that. People did say that. Like, it was a narrative. It was a thing. People were talking about it. Okay, Signs, you weren't doing that? Okay, bro, I got you. My bad. You're embarrassed for them? Or you embarrassed them? All right. But yeah, Chris, people definitely said that. And I mean, like, if you're just talking about defensive stuff, whatever. I mean, sure. But I don't think that's like, you don't put Mookie Betts out and right just to fix the defense, like to fix the team defense. No, not working out. Not working out. People were saying that moving Mookie Betts to right field would take the load off of him and fix his offense. That definitely was a thing. Yeah. TQT says, I didn't blame shortstop for Betts' struggles, but I did want him lower in the lineup. That's fair. Mookie Betts even said it himself. Mookie Betts told Dave Roberts, lower him in the lineup, like understanding that it'd be like they were going to think about putting him lower in the lineup. Okay. So like, that's not a crazy thing. Shortstop was always going to be the thing because he wasn't doing poorly at shortstop. That's the thing. But Mookie Betts himself, to his own admittance, told Dave Roberts to bat him lower in the lineup, and Dave said no. And that's why Dave Roberts is the best manager in ball, because he doesn't get peer pressured or social media pressured. Mike Schilt into changing his lineup just for the sake of doing it, because Mike Schilt decides to put players in different spots of the lineup because social media tells him to. All right. It's the best. It's the best. Brandon says, come on. He says, come October, what's your starting 9/the bench? Also, do you see Freeland coming back up or Call getting any PT in the playoffs? What's Kim's role? And a lot of questions here. A lot of questions. Thanks for the support. The starting 9 that I've got right now, no platoons. All right. I'll put that up there. No platoons. Okay. I'm going to say that Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Muncy, Teoscar, Tommy Edman, Andy Pajes, and who am I missing here? I subbed somebody out. And then Rojas. Does that get everybody? Yeah. Yeah, I got everybody. Yeah. Alpata, no Conforto. That's who I subbed out. But if they're dead set on doing it, he says, what's up, Mookie? Yeah. He's on fire, bro. But if they're dead set on doing it, then Conforto will be in there. And then you can sub out Tommy Edman, which would crush me. That would be brutal. But yeah, that's my lineup, my starting lineup. Sans, Conforto. If they put him in there, and then just swap out Edman and Conforto, even though the numbers don't match up for that at all. That's all right. Is what it is. Sign says this: no platoons for the sake of the exercise, or you don't want platoons? Just for the sake of the exercise. That's just for the sake of the exercise. Platoons wise, if they want to put Conforto in there, then I expect them to do it. That's why he's still on the thing. I don't expect Alex Call to get a lot of PT. I don't expect him to get a start. I don't see a spot for him, Brandon. I don't see a spot for him to get a start in the postseason, barring an injury. Unless something happens with Rojas, then Tommy Edman to second base, Call in left, Pajes in center, and then against a lefty. That's the way that I could see him getting a start. So if you want, that's the PT that I could see it. But as of right now, Miguel Rojas has earned a start, has earned stuff against lefties. He definitely has. He's earned starts in general. He definitely has. Got good rapport with Mookie Betts up the middle. Look. This is where we're at. Yeah. Alfonso says, Conforto's ABs look productive. He makes pitchers work. Sure. That's I get it. I totally understand where it's at. It's just we're at this point where he's on such borrowed time. He's had all the at-bats in the world to do anything, to find a good run, but it's just the success factor is not there. All right. That's all it is. So whatever. If you're still in the boat and he does something, and then people have the audacity to go back and be like, see, told you. It's just give me a break. Any other big league club, that run of poor success, the dude would be off the roster. Injuries saved his entire time. That's all. What's Kim's role in the playoffs? I think purely defensive replacement, pinch runner. He's at risk of not having a postseason roster spot. But I love defensively, stellar glove, gold glove type stuff, elite plus speed. That's why I think he could be on there. All right. Yeah. No, you don't. Dusty says I'm not buying Conforto stock, but he's been better. Sure, he's been better. You don't have to buy Conforto stock to give him credit, and he's been better as of late. The results not there. He's just missed a few, but it's just about the success factor. It's like putting him in those spots. Are you trusting him in a pinch hit scenario? I really am not. I'm really not. If the front office does, that's just is what it is. Cool. And it says Conforto's been on borrowed time since June. I wouldn't be shocked if they extended the bum. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't do that. Don't put that out there. All right. Let's get questions going, chat. Again, do us a quick favor. If you're not subscribed already, please do that for us. A road to 100K here. you are all still early. Before the playoffs, you are the tier ones. You are in the elite category right now. You are definitely in the spot where, keeping names. I'm keeping names. So you're the best. I appreciate you all tuning in early on and taking this ride with me over here on Dodger Heads Unplugged. My show, my own show. It's good to be back here with you. So again, all caps questions. Type those in. I'll get to a few. I'll go till what would annoy admin. Um I'll go another maybe 10 minutes. All right. Let's see. Yoshi says, "You really think I'm high value?" I mean, look, you're a part of the early group here. You've been here all the time. Yeah, 100%. It's just a matter of you value yourself. I value you. Chad does. Um, Timmy says, "Did JD Martinez really fix Mookie? Is that all it took?" I would say that process-oriented guys like Mookie Betts, who work tirelessly at their craft and get frustrated by a lack of results, uh, don't just let things go. They will work until it's fixed, and sometimes that can dig you more into a hole. But with Mookie Betts, uh, we've seen this before with players. You speak to someone that puts things all back into place. If Mookie Betts speaking to JD Martinez, who they're really close friends, and JD has a wealth of knowledge, who's been one of his tenure in Boston, with Detroit and then in Boston, was some of the most elite, or in Arizona as well, some of the most elite offensive play we've seen in quite some time. JD Martinez was a force, and Mookie Betts when they were in Boston connected on a personal level and on a professional level. So if Mookie Betts got right with that, look, it's probably a lot of just, pent up frustration and realizing he's who he is and what he can do, and maybe a change in philosophy and, what he's doing. But the signs were always there, Timmy. Like Mookie Betts had maintaining an elite chase rate, elite whiff rate. He wasn't striking out. He was taking walks. He was making pitchers work. It was just a matter of quality of contact and, taking pitches where they needed to be. And now he's pulling the ball in the air. He's not trying to, pop up Mookie. I haven't seen, how long has it been since we've seen a huge spell of Mookie Betts just popping up, about to go pop out and show him? Like, that meme was going around like crazy, but we just haven't seen that. He's on time. Like, this is elite, repeatable stuff from a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's on a great run. Everybody needs to enjoy this. It's fun stuff watching Mookie Betts approaching at bat. Let's see here. Paul Abbott says, over under Clayton Kershaw playoff starts is 0.5. What are you taking? I'm taking 1 because I believe that the Dodgers have enough right now. Look, the offense carried them last year in the starting pitching in Dave Roberts with elite tanking, strategic tanking, and strategic losing, which they don't have to do. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. They don't need a Brent Honeywell guy. Doesn't have to be this way. Not even close. I think the Dodgers have enough starting pitching to get them through a wild card round. I'm not saying they're winning that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm like a smooth braining. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that I think with how things line up with the starting staff, which has been the biggest worry for a few years, and that's been the biggest cause for concern. Kershaw getting to a 5-gamer, I think they'll carry him in a 5-gamer. I don't think he's needed as far as his skill set because he earned a start. I don't think putting him in a one inning scenario or a mop up duty would be good for what he's earned this year. What he's pitched to is a start. He is pitched like a starter, and he's earned that. So in a 7-game series, Clayton Kershaw has earned a start in the postseason. All right. Yeah. That's what I think. So, Paul, I'm going to say 1 and possibly 2. Okay. Depending how far they go. He's earned that. He's pitched like it. He's missed barrels. Like he's not giving up damage. Okay. So it's a great question. I appreciate this. And you have to have a little bit of, you have to look ahead a little bit more because he's definitely earned that start. So I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say the over. You didn't ask for the exact. I'm going to say the over. At least 1. All right. Lucas says this. Says, I think I can speak for the chat, Scott. Your ball knowledge is top of the heap, but we really love your overall compete. Compete. Dave Roberts ingrained that into my mind. Love to compete out of you. All the little gals in the softball field, just love to compete out of you. That at bat, 3-2 count, spit on a couple changeups down low, work the walk, a little 7-pitch, I'm in. Love to compete. Love it. I'm in. Yep. Top tier D head for sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back. Eden says if they put Will on the IL now, can they backdate it? I mean, yeah. Yeah. What, 1 day? Retroactive it a day. That's fine. But, what are you gonna do? They'll do whatever they can to not, but Rortvedt, he can hold it down. They've got to compete here. There it is again. They've got to take care of business. You get San Fran coming up, and then you get Philadelphia at home, and then you get San Fran again at home. And the Giants won 13 of the last 17 meetings. It's a good test. It's a very good test. And the Giants, they're gunning for a wild card slot. The Mets have been bad. The Mets have been, playing very mid-ball. Juan Soto looks great, but the Mets overall have not been. Clay Holmes did not look good. So it's like their starting rotation has been in shambles. That's the opposite of what the Dodgers have had. The Mets probably felt fairly confident, but they send Senga down, like Kodai Senga gets sent down, like just a lot of question marks, and they're scraping by with rookies in the rotation and looking for the Mets to give the Dodgers some help. Are we getting it? Not a chance. Dodgers just have to play their own game, and looking ahead, you might have to get ready for a wild card thing. So that's why I talked about it earlier. Looking at a 3 game, you got to prepare for that. Brandon, thank you for super chat here. He says, what was the point of trading for Call? I mean, yeah, Rafael for Call, the GOAT. What was the point of trading for, pause for breath, Alex Call? Okay. Look, he was a very bargain bin. They needed someone versus lefties to spell Michael Conforto for the off chance that Tommy Edman didn't make his way back. The Miguel Rojas, look, they just needed to fill a need. At that point, Michael Conforto was playing well, but I don't like that they banked on that. I said vehemently, I think I was, whether it was on DB when I was making some fill-in appearances there, or some other shows, that I don't like that when an underperforming player gets hot for a super short span and they're not blowing the cover off the ball. They're just average. They're just fine. And then, the team banks on that being the thing. Look, I said that I felt and the Dodgers could and should have done more. You look around at other players of that similar mold, Brandon, who are having an impact. Definitely. Ramon Laureano was the hit of the deadline. He's crushing it for the Padres. Padres are slumping, but that's aside from the point. Laureano was out there. I know they packaged it with O'Hearn, so they got a deal, and that was probably what pushed it over the edge. So Dodgers weren't going to go 2 for 1, but could have gone there. You could have gone with Harrison Bader, who's started a considerable number of games for the Phillies, I think, if not every game. So there were other pieces out there that could have gone with, but Alex Call was brought in to play against left-handed pitching, provide bat to ball. K rate was in a good spot. Walk rate was in a good spot. He was going to bring that profile to an outfield that had a ton of whiff. Teoscar Pajes was, playing well at the time. And then Conforto, we know where he was at. So that was his, that was his job. That was it. All right. Hope that answered your question there. JY says, Roki seems to finally getting back to his pre-2023 injury form. He said he's been watching videos and working on his form and mechanics. Yeah, I saw a mechanical breakdown of Roki Sasaki, pumping triple digits here, and he looks good. When those type of developments happen, you see a drastic change and stuff like that. All those hindsight takes and all those hindsight thoughts, when his velo was down, go out the window, because it's a different step in what Roki Sasaki provides and what he's got in the tank right now. So he's definitely an option. And it remains to be seen how much he can do, out of the bullpen there, short stints. Do they want to push that? They might. They might. I know he's meeting with the Dodgers about his availability and what he's going to do going forward. So he definitely could be an asset. Definitely could be an asset. It's always a good problem to have when you have, enough. All right. Luke says, you're a couple weeks in, Scotty. Doing this alone can't be easy. You're doing a phenomenal job, man. Love the show. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy, but I'm a first class yapper. Everybody around me knows that for a fact. My other job, people know that. My friends know that. Daughter knows that. Girlfriend knows that. Yeah, first class yapper. But I come on here because I can talk ball with you guys, get candid, talk for real. Don't leave anything. I'll leave it all on the field. Let's just say that. That's how it goes. TQT breaks my heart here and says Harrison Bader's hitting 330 in Philly. Yeah, there were options, man. There were options. They bought low there. They gave up absolutely nothing at the deadline. And I know people are championing the fact that they gave up nothing. They could and should have done more. If the original starting 9 goes out and wins the title, then the deadline doesn't matter. But I'm still saying they could and should have done more because they could have addressed the bullpen. So TQT, yeah, you and I both know that they could and should have done more. It's not a lot. It wasn't like a crazy amount, but they didn't have to just sit. Yeah, Laura, first class yapper, love it. Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Science says, let me know if you ever need me to dust off the streaming equipment. Look. We can see. I'm not about saying having guest hosts or guest people on the show, from chat. You guys are fire. Chat's been great. I know we floated with a voicemail line once before. I got to screen all those. You guys would send a ton. I'd have to screen them all. Some wild people. Let's see. I'll take two more. So I'm about to get an angry text. Yeah. Rod. Why does everyone seem to forget that Kershaw's last disastrous postseason start occurred when his shoulder was so badly damaged he required surgery after the season? I don't think people are being critical of that. Rod, you can clarify a little bit more. I don't think people are being, critical and thinking like that. I'm not. If you're speaking to other people in chat, I can't speak for them. I can only tell you what I think. It's just a matter of, the starting rotation hierarchy. If you're speaking just directly to Clayton Kershaw in a bubble, then yeah, that's fair. 2023, there was nobody else. Like Lance Lynn was like penciled in as a guy. And then it was that Ryan Pepio at the time? Was that it? And then, I forgot who was the other starter in that series. It was just so forgettable. They're just running on fumes. So yeah, he's changed a lot. Al Potter says he's evolved a lot. He's Clayton Kershaw with his ability to just limit run prevention Hall of Fame status, like best of all time. But Lance Lynn was, took the words out of my mouth there. Lance Lynn was a warm body. He had nothing in the tank. And that was the last time. I get that. Clayton Kershaw wasn't, last year he couldn't make the roster. He was a big piece to what they had. He was, clubhouse guru. He is why the young guys walk into the clubhouse and they understand where they're at because of guys like Clayton Kershaw. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Rod. I mean, I get what you're talking about. I don't think people forget about it. Or I don't think people forget that he was injured at that time. Like I don't, at least. People who pay attention a ton don't. But it's just a matter of like he's got how many names in front of him. Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Tani, Yamamoto, and all that. All right. Cool. All right, chat. Let me see. One more. TVG says this. If Ben continues to get the job done as a backup catcher, do you think the Dodgers will trade Rushing or keep him as the fourth outfielder, third catcher for next season? Interesting question. I think the Dodgers have to prepare for the possibility of Will Smith, down the road here. And if they don't value Dalton Rushing at a level that he can take over a staff, then sure. Dalton Rushing hasn't looked the best at the plate, but look, he's a rookie and like he's held his own. He stayed up in the big leagues. I know it's not a most impossible job to be a backup catcher to a top 3 catcher in the league, and Will Smith, but he's still going out there and doing his thing. He's calling a good game. Has work to do at the plate, receiving end, game calling. Of course, he's a young kid. Rortvedt won't be out of the organization. I'll tell you that. I don't think that's a thing they should do. He's definitely a guy like he's been in there, done that. You see these veteran guys in there like Chucky Robinson, in the organization somehow. You just need these vets. So, and this is funny. He says Rortvedt's had more hits in a week than rushing has had all year. Don't do that. 4? Don't do that. Don't do that. You're hilarious, man. But yeah, Dalton Rushing has cleared the minors. He's currently next in line to carry the stat behind Smith. Bennett's taking that. Yeah, I agree. He's not taking it away. He's not taking it away. Will Smith is up there, and then Dalton Rushing right behind him. He's earned that. Okay. All right, chat. Thank you. You're all tier 1s. You're all dogs. I'm gonna get an angry text in like 5 seconds. First class yapper. But again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Let's see. We're off day today. We're off day today, huh? Off day today? Yeah, we're off day today. Enjoy your off day. No ball game today. Prepare for Dodgers in San Francisco. Wheels up. San Francisco 3-game set. Come back home right after that. Easy money. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your night. Yeah. Dodgers right now, they're doing their thing. 3 up on the San Diego Padres in the National League West. You get football tonight. But please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, my name is Scott Geirman. This is DodgerHeads Unplugged. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. As always, go Dodgers.